Hello. We be streaming. Are we though? Yeah, we're streaming, I think. So guys, how's it going? A little embarrassing confession. I actually streamed about 36 minutes ago and I said whatever it is I had to say. And then I realized I had my stream key wrong in OBS. So just to point out how technologically advanced I am, but I'll head off real fast. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the lunacy that's happening. We might have Adpocalypse 2.0 upon us. So for people who don't know the story, I don't think there is anybody out there. Steven Crowder generally made a lot of critiques about this Vox contributor by the name of Carlos Maza. The Vox contributor who goes by the Twitter handle @gaywonk and constantly calls himself gay and queer and whatever, was outraged that Steven Crowder, more boomer moment, forgot to put my microphone on.
Huh, this is not off to a good start. Anyways, you guys, so for people who have no so essentially this is what I was getting at. Steven Crowder just got demonetized because Carlos Maza, by the Twitter handle @gaywonk and calls himself queer and all that stuff, got triggered that Steven Crowder called him queer. Now, Steven Crowder, being the smart entrepreneur that he is, he branched out of YouTube a long time ago. He's mainly been relying on Mug Club, and he saw this coming a mile away. He knew he was eventually going to get demonetized, but there are certain other important things that we need to talk about this. Um, Something I wanted to mention, it's not just Steven Crowder who got taken down by Vox. I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube creator Sinatra Says. I love his content. Check him out. He also got demonetized, and we're speculating it's the same thing. Now, what's all this about? As I often say, mainstream media is not dying, they're just getting more and more restless. And this is just mainstream media. They want to crush competition. Mainstream media doesn't care about profit. These guys put hundreds of millions of dollars on these news outlets. If they cared about making money, they would make several diversified portfolios out of that and turn those millions into billions. The ultimate objective here is just to control the narrative, and that's about it. So they're essentially trying to crush YouTube, and that brings us to Adpocalypse 2.0. I mean, we're not there yet, but we might very soon get there. Now, usually you guys know I'm not a big fan of YouTube censorship, but this time I gotta give YouTube a little bit of a pass. For those of you guys who remember Adpocalypse 1.0, I think it happened 2-3 years ago, but it feels so long in internet times. This is how this Adpocalypse thing worked. I think it was Wall Street Journal who headed that move. They had these certain ads that run on certain videos. I think it was a Coca-Cola ad, and it was some video, I can't remember exactly what. And Wall Street Journal started harassing Coca-Cola. They started writing articles about Coca-Cola advertising on this content and that content, and Coca-Cola, along with other brands, just pulled from YouTube. And that's why YouTube is they're sort of in a hostage situation. They're not. I don't know how YouTube does it. They are a very lucrative ad source. They're owned by Google, but still, they're not particularly as profitable as we would like. If YouTube had some strong leadership, someone who could stand up to these companies and say, hey, listen, we are really lucrative, advertise with us or get lost, we don't care. But for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't do it. So, in some cases, you can sort of blame weak YouTube leadership, but Adpocalypse 2.0, it's coming. It is coming. So essentially, these media outlets, they're just trying to squash the competition, because without YouTube, a lot of people will lose a significant amount of reach. And that's about it. So you guys, if you like your fellow content creators, follow them in other sources, and the usual Gab, Minds, and stuff. But also, a lot of them have individual websites. Get on them. I don't think anything's gonna change. Remember when Paul Joseph Watson and all the other folks got taken off Facebook, And then even Donald Trump retweeted in support of Paul Joseph Watson, but nothing happened. First of all, I'm really skeptical of having the government solve anything, and even if the government does, there's really no telling that it'll ever happen in the foreseeable future. So you guys gotta look into it. And also, seeing our right-leaning governments, I don't think they, at least in the United States, I can't say how it is in other parts of the world, but the right of center people in the United States who are gonna get massacred by this tech censorship, I don't think they actually know what's going on. So there's this just fun tweet I read in the background, and I just couldn't stop laughing. You guys know what happened, right? Carlos Maza, by the Twitter handle @GayWong, constantly calls himself gay and queer, couldn't handle that Steven Crowder made fun of him. And I think he got some hateful messages, or someone probably doxed him and he lost his mind. Doxing, not condoning it, a terrible thing, but given what happens to conservatives, come on. So this is what Carlos Maza said. So I have pretty thick skin when it comes to online harassment. I've read this about 10 times, and every time I do, I can't stop help but laughing. This guy, this guy is getting so triggered, he's about to cause adpocalypse, and he says he has pretty thick skin. So essentially, the bigger conclusion of this is that if these outlets, Vox and other leftist outlets, they don't have to be particularly popular. Not everybody has to watch them. Their biggest chip is, if YouTube doesn't do what they say, they're gonna go and bother the corporations that advertise on YouTube. And since YouTube has no backbone, its leadership is, I want to say, a lispy queer, but that's apparently hate speech. Um, YouTube's not going to stand up to them. So corporations run all over YouTube. So essentially, anyone on YouTube, this is all across the board, left, right, center, independent content creators are going to take the brunt of it. So this guy got so triggered that he's gonna cause damage to people. And by the way, people like Steven Crowder, he for the last 6, 7 years, Steven Crowder knows that YouTube was eventually going to demonetize him. Being the smart entrepreneur that he is, he branched out. It's the smaller independent content creators, people much, well, Steven Crowder too is independent, but people much smaller than Steven Crowder who's going to get the brunt of it. I was talking about Sinatra Says, who got his channel completely demonetized. He has like 130,000 subs or something. It's creators like him who's going to face the brunt of it. Steven Crowder, obviously, it is going to financially affect him. I can't say otherwise, but he's going to be okay. Independent content creators, they're going to go down. And once again, corporate media, mainstream media, dying media, dinosaur media, whatever you want to call them, squeezing the life out of independent content creators. If you like your independent creators, support them in whatever way. And I'm not talking about throwing your money at them, although if you're able to do so, that's fine for them as well. But follow them in other sources, man. YouTube's going to cut them off very soon. And yeah, that's just the hurtful thing. While it is bad news, let me once again read you the tweet for Carlos Maza. Hopefully, this makes you happy as much as it makes me happy. The tweet goes, "So I have pretty thick skin when it comes to online harassment, but something has been really bothering me. Carlos Maza has thick skin." If that doesn't make you happy out of this entire shit show, I don't know what will. Talk to you guys later. Take care.